Road. That's just past the county line. Also, the Nation's Bank building, the Tennessee Tower, the T-Pack had extensive damage to it. We've also had reports of the stadium suffering significant damage. I mentioned earlier, I want to reemphasize, we have had reports of numbers of people injured. Okay, about 100 so far have been reportedly injured. The governor has declared Nashville a disaster area. Okay, you can see windows were blown out downtown. A lot of problems with the glass and blowing debris. That's why a lot of times here on the Weather Channel we will tell you just seek shelter underneath in the lower level of your building. Now, as you can also see, flooding has been a big problem in the Nashville area. We've had a tremendous amount of rain with some of these storms. Tornado warnings in effect now for Pickett County in eastern Tennessee. We now join WKRN Live.
Inside got out okay.
Absolutely. As much as 2 to 3 inches of rain falling in some of these downpours. Lisa Patton is standing by with more information for us. Lisa?
We're still watching 2 storm systems with hooks and
again, back here at the Weather Channel, we have a tornado warning that has just been issued for Pickett County. Doppler radar has indicated a tornado southwest of Byrdstown. Please seek shelter immediately there. It's expected in Byrdstown at 5:40 local time, Pickett State Park at 5:50 local time. One more look at that radar showing you the nasty thunderstorms bearing down on western Tennessee, moving into central Tennessee. Also, we've had a number of reports of large hail with this particular storm cell in Kentucky and not looking too pretty. We have tornado warnings in effect for Sumner County, Robertson County, and northern LaFleur County. That's in Mississippi. So this line of thunderstorms actually extends on down into Mississippi. Keep in mind, in Mississippi and Alabama, you are indeed still in the tornado watch, and now we're getting some tornado warnings for you. Tornado warning for Pickett County. Also a new tornado warning for Adair County. That's in south central Kentucky. That's the cell that I was showing you right in here. So please seek shelter in the lower level of your house or building or in the basement. Get away from exterior walls, get away from windows. Continuing on, Cheatham County in Middle Tennessee, Robertson County, Trousdale County, that's all in the Nashville metro area, right in here. These are most of the areas that are being affected right now. You have, again, been hit hard this afternoon. Now another line of thunderstorms moving through, potentially very, very dangerous, potentially looking at tornadic activity. Here's a look at the Doppler radar. Again, these are mean-looking cells, and we can't emphasize enough that you need to seek shelter immediately. Cover your head, cover your neck, and just hit the deck. Make sure the elderly are protected and the small children. If you don't have a basement, go to an interior hallway or bathroom in your home. Okay, on the lowest level. Do not stay upstairs. Looking into Ohio and Indiana, some thunderstorms moving towards Dayton and Columbus. We've had reports of flooding in Ohio. We've also had some reports of dangerous thunderstorms in Michigan, where a severe thunderstorm watch has been in effect. Severe thunderstorms have been rumbling through lower Michigan and not really impacting the Detroit metro area per se. Once again, our strong thunderstorm is moving on through. We have colder, drier air behind it, warm, moist air ahead of it. That is a very volatile situation. A number of tornado watches and warnings in effect. Nashville, Tennessee has been hit very, very hard today and getting hit yet again with a number of tornado warnings in effect. We'll continue to bring you coverage of what is happening across the southeast, and we'll continue to bring you the watches and warnings as they come into effect. Stay with us right here on the Weather Channel.
And our Michelle Rose has the exclusive look at 2 pieces of history that have flown.
Wild weather for sure, and it was, boy, it was pretty close to here too. We kind of had shifted into high gear, and we dodged another bullet, thankfully. Here's a look at WeatherNet 10 right now. We'll show you some of the damage out of Nashville, along with some radar images just moments before the tornado hit Nashville. And again, here's WeatherNet 10. We have a west wind now as the cool front / trough begins to move through the area, 5 miles per hour on the current winds. Temp now down from about 88 degrees down to 82. The dew point's still pretty high, but that will be dropping significantly with time. All right, let's take a look at next rad image, if we could, from the Nashville area, and we'll show you what it looked like just a few moments before. And again, a little hard to see, but Nashville is just about right here, and this is a supercell. We're going to zoom into this right now and take a look at a zoomed-in picture. Again, a supercell, real high reflectivity is right here, indicating some hail. You can see the hook You hear about the hook all the time. Well, that is the rain being wrapped around the actual tornado. The tornado is actually about right there. Downtown Nashville is about right here, and that thing was moving east, and this is about 10 minutes before the tornado went down right through downtown Nashville. This is what it looked like on radar. Let's see what it actually looked like. This is some of the very latest damage video, possibly the tornado even right there. Again, this all happened earlier this afternoon around 3:30 or so. Some of those flashes you saw could have been lightning, but more than likely it was probably transformers blowing up. I have not seen this video just yet, so bear with me. There's another vantage point of the tornadoes. There's some of the damage in downtown, a lot of windows blown out. As far as I can tell, all the tall buildings in downtown really didn't receive any structural damage other than just a lot of broken glass. And I understand most of the people that were injured so far, at least that we have reports of, were injured from flying glass and flying debris. And of course, that's typically what happens in tornadoes. Not necessarily the winds that are deadly, but the debris that are picked up in the winds and thrown around. So again, a very violent situation earlier this afternoon in downtown Nashville. But they were not alone. Lots of very strong thunderstorms and possible tornadoes all across that area. Bowling Green, Kentucky also had a tornado with some structural damage. No reports of any injuries or loss of life there, along with 3-inch diameter hail. Anyway, back home, things a little quieter. Current temperatures 70s and 80s as some cooler air begins to spread in. 72 now at Camden, 71 at Warren, and again down to 82 now in the Twin Cities. Here's a look at the satellite picture, and again, the bright white clouds indicative of where the colder, higher cloud tops are with these thunderstorms. And again, you might recall yesterday we were talking about the possibility of more violent weather through the Tennessee Valley and all through this area. And again, a couple of days ago I said high-risk area only issued a couple of times by the Storm Prediction Center per year. Again today, high risk of seeing severe weather in this area by the Storm Prediction Center. That's 3 times in 8 days, so extremely unusual. But look at this. It was thunderstorms extending right back into the Region 10 viewing area. No warnings, and we did have a watch, in effect, a tornado watch for Chico County and also into Ashley County. It looks like we can just about forget about that. But anyway, that officially in effect until midnight. But again, some very intense thunderstorms around the Greenville and Greenwood area, and have had some indication of an actual tornado in Bolivar County, just right around Greenville right now, and a little bit earlier this afternoon. So some folks be able to see us on cable there, and again, some very intense storms there. Check out radar right now. This is kind of a time lapse, so to speak, and again, some pretty strong storms. The Greenville, Greenwood area looks like they are diminishing in strength. Still, though, Nashville just about right up in here. You can see some of those very intense supercells as they moved off to the east and to the northeast, but things just about high and dry here. Let's check out Doppler 10. We'll see the very latest current activity. Again, another little storm looks like going up in northern Chico County just to the west of Greenville, and some storms way out here to our east. So we'll continue to watch things for you. It looks like things probably winding down, but until that front actually clears all the way out of here, again, we'll see a slight chance of a little bit of severe weather through the afternoon. Then things are going to quiet down after that, and looks like cool down as well. The next chance of rain, and now appears that Saturday is going to be a washout. Last couple of days have been kind of wishy-washy on that, but almost all the computer models now indicating it's going to be wet and cool for Saturday.
A lot of people have been asking for rain, so
Yeah, really.
Yep,
maybe
we're
we'll
going to
finally
probably get it on Friday night into
Hugh Stevens was working construction at the football stadium when it hit.
It was stuff flying everywhere. We had just evacuated the job, and I had just made it to the gate. And I started running to the Exxon station, and I looked back, and it was just something out of it was unexplainable.
And we are back live here at the Weather Channel. Once again, we have new tornado warnings in effect, and they do include western North Carolina, northern Jackson County, just south of Cherokee. Please seek shelter there. The radar has indicated a tornado moving northwest of Silva, I should say, near Whittier, moving east at 40 miles per hour. If we look at the radar, I can show you exactly where that is and where you will be impacted. That would be right in here, this particular cell, Swain and Cherokee County. Tornado warnings in effect for you in North Carolina. And yet another tornado warning in Middle Tennessee, Macon County. If you are in Lafayette or in the vicinity of Union Camp, it appears that a Doppler radar indicated tornado is moving in that direction east at 45 miles per hour. So the tornado warnings are in effect here, here, and here, not to mention right in here in North Carolina. We've also had some pretty nasty weather in Mississippi and Alabama, and as you look at this Doppler radar, we can tell you that these storm cells are now moving away from Nashville itself. But we still have the potential for more nasty weather in the forecast over the next few hours. So it's not over yet, folks. And I do want to make mention we've seen a lot of rainfall in Nashville, and flash flood warnings are in effect for portions of Tennessee. You can see that we're getting hammered with some heavy rainfall here in Cincinnati, Louisville, Lexington, and on eastward. And this is the same area where we saw heavy rainfall earlier this morning and flooding rain. So this is adding insult to injury, to say the least. Into Michigan, where we have the severe thunderstorm watch in effect, it appears that things are clearing out. Earlier today in this general vicinity, we had a lot of trees down due to a possible tornado that moved on through Sanilac County. Well, we have the classic setup for severe weather. High pressure is pulling in that cooler, drier air. We do have the warm, moist air moving in out of the Gulf of Mexico, our frontal boundary, our low. And then just for added energy, we do have that jet stream screaming on into that area at about 150 knots. So that is really causing a big-time problem. Look at how juicy the air mass is. I got to tell you, folks, when you have dew points in the 60s and 70s and actually close to 70 degrees here in Nashville, Tennessee, you're looking at a big-time problem in this area. And so for that reason, the National Weather Service has issued this warning. The high-risk area will continue through noon on Friday. So, folks, just want to give you a heads up. Do not let your guard down. Be prepared. Have a plan of action before something happens, because conditions can change very, very rapidly, as we have seen throughout the afternoon. Make sure you know what to do. Go to the lowest level of your home or business. If you don't have a basement, go to the lower level. Go into the interior room, whether that's a bathroom or a
roofs and knock down trees. The governor of Tennessee has declared Nashville a disaster area. Now, the Tennessee Emergency Management Agency is reporting that over 100 people have been injured, but we have some new data here that says that there have been 20 to 25 injuries, one of those critical from the Centennial Park area on the west end. Police are asking that people stay away from the downtown Nashville area and to avoid areas with down power lines. They're also asking to avoid using your cellular phones to try to keep those cells clear. It appears the tornado cut a 3 to 4 mile swath through downtown Nashville. Now, as we have said, the tornado hit late in the afternoon. These pictures are from our landmark television station in Nashville, WTVF. As you can see, employees were running for the basement to take shelter. The power in the building was knocked out, as well as the phones, and the station's fiber link to the transmitter also was damaged. So you can see it's already been a very bad late afternoon to add to what has been a devastating spring so far with severe weather and particularly tornadoes. I believe we have right now on the phone Edwin Hogan, who is the Cheatham County Emergency Management Director. Cheatham County just to the west-northwest of Nashville. And Mr. Hogan, can you tell us a little bit about what is happening in your county now?
Right now things are looking a lot better. We don't have as severe weather as we've had, but all day long we've just been sitting on a bomb. Virtually the tornado that hit Nashville, Tennessee first came over our county, and fortunately it didn't touch down, but when it did get into Davidson County and downtown Nashville, it touched down. Our damage is hail damage. We had anywhere from golf ball size to baseball size hail over in the south part of our county. And we have no report of injuries. We've had several possible spottings, but no tornado that ever touched down in our county, and no wind damage. So we've been very fortunate today.
All right, no power outages then across your county as well?
No, sir, not at this time. We don't have any power outages. We do have water across the road and a lot of flooding on roads. We've just, last few minutes, have released the students in Cheatham County on the north side of our county have been dismissed. The first tornado warning we got, the students were getting ready to go home, and the school board made the decision to hold them up in the buildings, and that's what they did, and we've just now been able to release them.
Thank you, Mr. Hogan, for taking time out to talk to us about what's been going on, and it looks like Cheatham County may be spared the worst of, at least so far, this particular outbreak. All right, let's show you a radar here. I want to get you up to date on where the current warnings are across parts of Tennessee and on up into Kentucky. We have, again, a radar here to show you as it goes on into motion. I want you to notice that instead of a solid squall line, which is what we had back here earlier, we have all these individual, what we call supercell thunderstorms, which have kind of developed out ahead of that. Now, that is definitely a signature, oftentimes, of tornadic thunderstorms, at least very severe thunderstorms, and we continue to see those as we head on through the evening. Now I'm going to run down the different warnings which are in effect. In Virginia, Lee County for a storm right here on the right-hand side of your screen. Also in Kentucky, Harlan, Jackson, Rockcastle, and McQuarrie County. That is for these cells right here moving toward the London area. Also in Tennessee, Marshall, Macon, Granger, and Rutherford counties. We're talking generally this cell, a cell to the south of Nashville, and also down toward the Alabama border. And as we head on into North Carolina, Swain and Jackson counties, although that cell appears to have weakened as it crossed the border and moved up into the mountains. But again, on this particular radar, you can see individual supercell thunderstorms all over the place from Kentucky down into Tennessee. We have some new tornado warnings out. Hancock County in eastern Tennessee, Scott County in southwestern Virginia. I'm sure that's probably from this cell right in through here. National Weather Service Doppler radar indicated a tornado 5 miles southwest of Sneedville, moving northeast at 45 miles an hour. We also have a tornado warning for eastern Robertson County in Middle Tennessee and Sumner County in Middle Tennessee. And the Weather Service Doppler indicating a tornado 5 miles east of Springfield, moving east at 40 miles per hour. And finally, tornado warning for Pulaski County in south central Kentucky. This is the second time Pulaski County's been under a tornado warning, and the Doppler radar indicating a tornado near Kane's Store, moving east at about 40 miles an hour. So again, we're talking about a wide-ranging severe weather outbreak here. Now, these are all Doppler radar indicated tornadoes, but we are getting a lot of ground truth, so to speak, from a lot of these Doppler indications that there has been damage. There's also been a lot of hail, and maybe a forgotten aspect of these particular storms. Also, there's been a lot of flooding, which we may show you a little bit later on this evening. That is also a major concern that everybody really has to be watching out for. All right, let's go a little bit farther to the north. I want to show you the whole setup here. And the severe weather threat, as I showed you at the beginning, the tornado watches don't only extend in Tennessee and Kentucky, but they're also down here into Alabama as well as Mississippi and all the way up north on up into Ohio. And I have a radar to show you up here. Again, tornado watches up for this area, including the Cleveland, Cincinnati, Dayton, and Columbus areas. Now, the storms here are not quite as well organized, and we don't have any tornado warnings out currently, but this is an area we're going to have to watch very closely as we head on through the overnight hours. Right now, the main threat area is in eastern Tennessee, generally just south of Lexington, between there and London, Kentucky, and on down into Tennessee, anywhere from near Nashville all the way on over into the mountainous areas. Now, as we look ahead here, we do want to mention that the highest risk of those tornadoes is that area I just mentioned, which could extend eventually down into northern Alabama and northeast Mississippi. Again, Birmingham,